everybody, we're gonna get up in the car and we're gonna put it into the room. We're not gonna start it just yet. You may notice that I have the adaptive cruise control buttons, but they work just like the aux buttons, and I don't have adaptive cruise on here. So if you have the adaptive cruise and probably disabled it some kind of way, the hot buttons function just the same. So we're going to go down to number 6, and we're going to cycle through, you know, some of the newer features and all that stuff with the TaZer. Hate refocusing everything. You know, light show still the same. You know, you already know now you can marry your TaZer to the car. 5 and 8, that's always going to stay yes. SRT pages, that's how you turn on the SRT pages with the ScatPacks, and I want to say the other vehicles as well. Performance pages stay the same with this one. If you have an RT or SXT that doesn't have the paddle shifters, that didn't come with the paddle shifters, and you have a set, that's how you would activate that. I turned off my TPMS, and that's pretty much showing the preset for them. And right here, this is how you would go about changing the tire sizes for the Calibrating speedometer. Right now, I had went online and Googled how many millimeters or whatnot what a 275 profile tire would be. So it was like 2287. So I selected 2286 because the next one up is, that's how you set the damn tire size. Okay. The next one up is 2291, 2301, so on, so forth. You would hit the set arrows on the right hand side to toggle through what size you want to set. You want this set at. So since 86 is closest to 2287 as we're gonna get, I'm gonna just leave it at that. You know, if you have the main thing we're here for is, I'm gonna address this problem as well. The main thing we're here for is I'm gonna show you how to program these set buttons and what functions you can cycle through to program them. Because the only thing you have to do is hold down this left arrow and you'll select the button that you would like to program. Oddly enough, I'm gonna go ahead and address this right now. Oddly enough, a thank to all the Scat users, Scat and any other users that has had a problem out our sport buttons working, is because whenever we change to the SRT sets, we would have to go back and reprogram, because when they dropped the new firmware and it glitched out, for some reason a light show was programmed instead of hidden sport. So the sport button here is no different than your hot buttons right there. So zoom back out. So right now I can hit sport and it actually works. So you have to go in there and reprogram your sport button to work just like it did when you take all the TaZer settings off. Or you know, if you don't want to use your sport button, you can use it as another hot button. You know, you can program it to where it can say custom. As a matter of fact, I'm gonna do that just for the hell of it. I'm gonna set that right there. And you would program the sport button just like you would do the hot buttons. So we're gonna cycle through. So you can change it to track drive, cool down. You can disable it with no function. Turn on the light show. If you had front facing camera, you can do that. Auxiliary line lock, ESP kill, launch mode, custom drive. And sport, I just put it back to sport because that's what it was already meant for. So that same principle works for these buttons as well. And if you want to know what I have my particular 3 buttons programmed for, right there, number 1 was for the line lock, and it just turned off automatically if you don't have it in gear and ready to for you to do your burnout. And it automatically goes to custom mode once you're done. So that's what I have as my number 1. Number 2 will be launch mode, but I will probably change that out later, but you already, so you don't have to go into menus and access launch mode. And number 3 right there will be the cool down. Well, I'm gonna set it in the run without the engine running. And number 3 is the cool down fan. So if I'd have been at the track running and want the engine to cool down, I could just put the car in the run, just come over here, hit the cool down button. We call that part of day right there. Let that engine cool down. And as you see, it's actually doing a little something because it was right there on the line right when I pulled in. Knew my battery was getting weak or something. I don't know. But anyways, we're gonna cycle through some of the options that you can do with the actual engine running. If I haven't done that, it's how you can turn your traction control off with 1 button, but we already have that button. You know, launch mode, custom drive, sport, track, cool down. That's how you turn your fan on, and that's how you disable. It's the same thing like when I was cycling through the sport mode button to get the sport mode back to working. It's the same exact process. I had that already started line lock. So we're gonna cycle through some of. All right, this is another thing I forgot to mention earlier. This is how you would disable auto sport, because when you, after you upgrade, sometimes you will notice that your car will automatically start in sport mode, which is, I'm not trying to do that. You would come right here and select this option right here to turn auto sport on or off. Same thing with traction control. If you want that traction control off when you start the car, you would turn that on. But right now I'm leaving that on for various reasons. Start mode. This is also where you would come up if you already want it in sport mode, but if you want to start up in, let's just say, track or custom, you will cycle through until you select the mode that you would want. I want it in default because I don't want my car starting up in sport or track. Video, the video out, show you peak RPMs, and that's about it. I almost forgot to cover those things to what you could do with the car while it's running, and since I done went through that, now I'm officially out of here. Y'all take it easy.